Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be doing the top teams for the King CROAKER Dream Run boss in endless mode. So we're going to lead it off with the overall top performing team. So Splash managed to get 65 billion damage today. The team is going to be using Talene because she will tank the insta kills of the boss and revive herself, and also she will deal some decent damage on top of that. Freestro, Lily May, and Smokey are all the other damage dealers in the team, and Mikola to be buffing up your team with the haste buff mainly, and also attack buff from the honor arena. So this is a great team. We're going to save it, and actually the funny thing is, this is actually the best team even if you don't have Talene built, as long as you have one copy of Talene. With my Epic plus Talene, and some people with even Epic Talene, they managed to get their top ranking score with this team. Like, there is another option using, for example, Freestro and no Talene. Okay, so taking a look at the formation, we have Smokey up front, Lily May off to the side, Talene behind the Smokey, Mikola all the way in the back, and then the Freestro is in the back as well. This is in order to make sure that Talene will be tanking the insta-kills, as she is the frontmost melee hero. And let's go ahead, she is the frontmost hero, so once she goes into melee range of the boss, then she will be taking the insta-kills, which is important because she can revive herself and she can contribute good damage as well. So let's take a look at the replay. And the main Freestro was in front of the Mikola, as normally would be the case. So she can cast Curse Fear a little bit quicker. So in this team, basically, you have two options. Either you run Talene to tank the insta-kills, or you run Thorn to tank the insta-kills. And Talene is better even when you have her at lower ascension, because not only does she take them, she also contributes decent damage. The thing about Thorn is you might think, well, he has Soul Plunder to increase the damage your team deals to the boss. However, it isn't effective at increasing damage based on HP per second damage. For example, Freestro or even the Smokey. Because it will be dealing a fixed amount of health per second just based on their attack status. And that is not going to be affected by like damage increasing or damage reducing effects. So that is kind of the problem. Other than the King CROAKER shield, of course, which reduces the damage that cannot be prevented against. Okay, so 45 seconds left, all the way over 50 billion damage. Verdant Spell is interesting. It increases the penetration of Lily May, which is important in endless bosses because they have a lot of defenses. It increases energy recovery of Talene to cast her ultimate more frequently after taking the insta-kill, and it increases the haste of your supports, which, I mean, I don't think that actually makes too much of a difference, because with your Smokey and Mikola, their skill casting is not really that important, because Courage Sphere will always be active if she's at Supreme Plus. She doesn't have to recast that. Her other skills are just for like healing and tankiness, and that will not increase like your damage output. So as far as I'm aware, the haste buff that is provided to them doesn't really help your damage, and the damage reduction buff onto Freestro also doesn't help his damage, but it's just mainly for the penetration of Lily May, energy recovery of Talene, and then also the stats, the attack that it provides. Okay, so overall he got over 56 billion damage with this team, which is honestly insane. But no, over 65 billion damage. And my team, now I'm going to show you my team, or we can do another run. We're going to do a run with the same team, with Talene, because this was my record. I can show you another team if, for example, you don't have a Talene at all to begin with, like my previous record before this. But using Talene here broke my previous record by around 0.5 to 1 billion damage. It's crazy that she can work at lower ascension. Now, so as of right now, to recap, Talene has been the top option in King CROAKER and the Skyclops and this boss, and that will remain the same for the rest of the season. So she is a top option for two bosses. Maybe we're gonna have to see for Crystal Beetle, because it hasn't come out on Endless yet, I believe, if I remember correctly. And Talene was a really good option in Crystal Beetle because magic damage is increased and energy recovery is boosted. So I could definitely imagine Talene also being a top option there. And then in total, she would be a part of 3 of the top performing endless boss teams out of the 8 in the rotation, which is not bad. Definitely not bad. But nothing like Freestro, who is a part of basically all of the top performing Dream Realm teams, other than Snowstomper, I think, up until now. So 45 seconds left. We can change it up to 3 times speed. because we just saw how the fight played out. The positioning is really perfect. Mikola will be buffing up all of your damage dealers, the 2 Phrastos, the Lily May, and also the Talene. So we have 18 seconds left. My record is 56 billion damage, and it will just depend on crit RNG if you want to try and break that, and doesn't look like we're going to be able to get it right there. Okay, so that is the team. 56 billion damage is my record, and if we take a look at the other team option, if you don't have a Talene at all, the team that I ran got 55 point almost 2 billion damage with Thorin in it. So you'll have to use Thorin to take the insta-kills, otherwise the formation is pretty much the same. You have the main Phrasto in front of the Mikola, and the other Phrasto illusion in the backmost tile in the center right here, and just Lily May. You want to soul pack someone to the Thorin in order for him to have his 3rd resurrection, because you need to take 3 insta-kills of the Dream Realm boss, King CROAKER, so he needs to have soul packed in order to take the 3rd, and he should be at Mythic Plus, which is important. So this is another team that you can run if, for example, you don't have Talene at all. And we can watch this replay. We can watch it on 3 times speed. Okay. So again, Mikola is going to be in a good position for your team. Is she? Yeah, she is providing the buffs even to the Phrasto on the right, which is important. You want to make sure in your positionings that Mikola is buffing up the haste of your 2 Phrastos and the Lily May, because they have a lot of damage from their skills, especially the Phrastos with Vicious Sting. Haste will make their cooldown of their skills lower, and also increase their attack speed to like charge energy faster. So both of these reasons, you want to make sure they're always being hit with the haste buff of the Courage Sphere of Mikola. So there we go, 55.2 billion damage. We got 56 billion with Talene instead, so we're like almost a 1 billion upgrade to the score, but both teams are good and definitely usable. Okay, now as for the team I used to clear Hell mode of this boss, I will show you. And this is the team that I'll recommend. This cleared it very easily with like a lot of time left over. So Rainier position swapping the OD and attack charms onto OD. Smokey up in the front. You could even, I think you could even put Smokey right in the centermost tile. And then you have the Shakir behind the Thorin. Basically, it's positioned in a way so that Shakir ends up buffing up as much of your team as possible. So Shakir ends up in a decent spot. Like, he's buffing up the OD, which is important, with plus 10 exclusive equipment that's giving the OD the attack buff. I wonder if there's a way of optimizing the positioning here. The problem is Thorin always runs to the center position, because normally what you want to happen is Shakir to end up in the middle position and have Smokey all the way up to the front, because then Shakir could even be buffing up Smokey with his Lupine's Aura. But Smokey doesn't contribute that much damage before Endless bosses, but for like an Endless boss tip, and even for the Primal Lord we're doing right now, the attack buff that Shakir applies to Smokey by being in the middle position of the boss is really important. It ramps up his blue aura damage by a lot, because Smokey hits really hard on endless bosses. So yeah, with 12 seconds left, we did get the execution, and this is a team that you should run with the arcane spell. Yeah, as you can tell, Smokey hardly does any damage. It completely turns around when you make it to the endless bosses, when they have like infinite health basically, so it's always at the cap. Okay, so that is a team, and then there is another team option, for example, for people who do not have Phrasto. This is probably going to be the best team that you can run. Smokey in the front, and Rainier position swapping OD to the front with the attack buff and the charms. And Mikola as well is going to run up to the front to buff up OD further with the haste buff, and also give him more attack power from the Honor Arena, controlling that, and resonating spell on the OD so that he gets an attack buff each time he casts his ultimate. It's all about like maximizing the damage of OD in this team comp, and it's just the most effective. And you also have Smokey in there for the damage because it is an endless boss. If you, for example, ran Lily May here rather than the Mikola, I think you definitely could do that. You need to always run Thorin to take the insta-kills of the King CROAKER boss. But if we take a look, yeah, I think definitely probably you could run maybe Shakir in place of Mikola in this team, or potentially even Lily May. So let's go ahead and give it a try just for some different options if you don't have Mikola, because I know there are quite a few people out there who don't have Mikola, but they might have the other heroes here. So let's first of all try with Lily May. Now, normally you would think, okay, having 2 damage dealers is better than 1, But the problem is just ramping up the damage from one single damage dealer is usually the better choice than running two separate ones. But we'll see. And also, like we mentioned, Lily May does well with the Verdant spell for the penetration on her attacks, the 30 penetration. But Odie, of course, does really well with the Resonating spell, as you can tell. He keeps getting the attack buff. Like, basically, he is permanently having the attack buff active. Yeah, this is looking maybe a little bit better. But we have 15 seconds left. We have to beat 46 billion if we want this team to be better. And it looks about doing around the same. So you can replace Mikola for Lily May. It does a little bit lower, I think. The other option, let's try one more team. Like we were saying, Shakir. Shakir will be buffing up the OD more, and I would think that that would be pretty good for our team. Yeah, but the problem is, again, Thorn is going to run into the middle, so Shakir will not get the ideal placement. Actually, I wonder if we had the Shakir on the right side, for example, to run to the middle and Thorn on the left, then potentially Shakir would actually be in the middle position and be able to buff up the Smokey with the blue aura. So I need to do one more run of this after that, because the positioning is really important when you consider these teams. Yeah, I mean, like, Shakir would be able to beat the Thorn to the front, and Thorn should still take the insta-kills of the King Croaker boss, because he's going to prioritize the frontmost hero fielded in your formation. So I'm going to try that. Try to get Shakir up into the middle position first, and then have the... But I'm worried, what I'm worried about is that Shakir's just going to run to the right side if I try to make him go towards the middle. But that did 44.8 billion damage. So this is what I'm thinking. Having the Shakir over here, and I want him to run center. Okay, now the problem here is now... Yeah, so it's basically the same. You're still not going to be able to reach the Smokey with this positioning, because Odie gets position swap right into the front of the boss. Maybe there's some different variations we could try of this. Okay, I have one more idea. We're going to try one more idea. What I'm thinking is that we have the Thorn, and we have Shakir to the left of Thorn, so hopefully then Shakir is not really like competing for a spot with the Thorn, and then Thorn can just stay in his lane rather than moving to the middle. Because if Thorn could just stay in his lane to the left, even if my Shakir is even further left than that, when he casts ultimate, I think he's going to go back to the middle position, because normally that's what happens. I don't know, we'll try it. So that did, of course, less than the other version of Shakir. This is what I'm thinking. Let's see. No, Thorn still goes into the middle location. So this is just basically effectively the same as the other team that we said. But these are just different options you can run. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Good luck getting a good score today. And yeah, these are the top teams to run. Even if you have one or a few copies of talene, then it will be better for you to just copy the talene formation instead of going for a non-talene version. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That's gonna be it for this video. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.